Welcome to Tax Show Radio with your host, Don V. Don's breaking down the tax code in ways that everyone can understand. Whether you're an individual or running your own company, Don teaches you how to make better decisions so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Show Radio, only on Global Voice Broadcasting.
This program is produced with the understanding that the participants and guests are not engaged in rendering legal, accounting, or other professional advice. The hosts of the program assume no responsibility in connection with the use of information that is presented. Tax laws are constantly changing and are subject to differing interpretations. In addition, facts and circumstances in individual situations may not be the same as situations that are discussed on the program. The listeners should do any additional research necessary to ensure that he or she is fully informed before using any of the information and advice that may be given during the course of the program.
That's my guest, Joe.
Thank you.
He's going to talk about, Joe.
Well, we're going to talk a little about retirement.
That's right.
Taxes, longevity, and the costs associated with living longer.
Very good. So I just put this one up with just the titles on it, and you can cover each one of those to explain long-term care to people.
Long-term care has become somewhat popular, and I believe it's the public's response to the wonderful statistics we're getting in the life expectancies. When I started, again, I hate to keep saying this, when I started in the 70s, when we did a retirement planning, we planned to 78.
Yeah.
If I did that today, people would look at me like I was a fool, because routinely people are living to in their late 80s and 90s.
That's right.
So,
you just told me you're going back to New York. For what reason?
Celebrate my father's 91st birthday.
91st birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect example.
Yeah.
So you'll live to be 105.
Oh, well, I knock on wood. If we find some wood here, I'm going to knock on it, yeah. But the what comes along, though, with that is what I refer to as the longevity costs. And in some ways, I look at them as stealing your assets, because these are assets you've worked very hard for, and longevity costs can be enormous. We all know that you go into the hospital for just any routine surgery, and you're looking at $50,000 and up.
That's right.
It's and that doesn't include the stay, if you have to stay. I mean, it's amazing. You can spend $500,000 in a hospital so easily these days. So
you see bills with people, and it's $6,000 a day.
Yeah,
It's nuts.
So these longevity costs kick in their 80s and 90s and 100s, and the costs can wipe out assets, and are doing so as we speak. So long-term care is a way for people to pre-fund these costs by putting money aside. Now, there's different ways to accomplish it. Do we have the time to address these different ways, or should I just stay general?
Well, I think we have you have 10 more minutes. Can
Okay,
you cover?
I can fast track that.
Can
Yes.
you talk about chronic illness
Absolutely.
and chronic?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Chronic illness. Chronic illness is long-term care. Chronic illness is defined as the inability to perform 2 of the 6 activities of daily living. What are the activities of daily living? They are the ability to eat, feed yourself, continence, bathe yourself, move or transfer, toileting, and dressing. If you cannot perform 2 of those 6 and you have long-term care coverage, you then qualify to collect on your benefit. That's chronic illness.
Okay. And I think I want to go back and explain that this long-term care can be connected to your life insurance.
The life insurance industry has innovatively developed new products that have been out for about 5 years.
I like that word, innovatively, or they had to do it.
Well,
innovatively or inventively?
I guess I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, for competition purposes, maybe they were losing market share.
Okay.
Maybe that was something that had something to do with it. It usually does in our world. But for whatever the reasons are, the newer programs allow you to use death benefit in advance of dying. You're already setting it up. You're already paying for it. The costs are already built into the plan. But now
Okay, but let's make definitely have people understand it's not automatic. When you get your life insurance policy, you want to make sure that it has this I call a rider or this benefit to the plan.
That's correct. You're right. It's not an automatic thing.
Right.
You have
right.
to make
So-
sure you qualify for it. That's correct.
Yeah, and so and then you have to have all these different reasons for the insurance company to say, okay, you can draw off of your life insurance for these situations.
Well, yes. In these particular situations, I can tell you it's a lot easier to draw the benefit than it would be in a standalone type long-term care plan, because the insurance company's attitude towards the life insurance company's attitude towards this is, you've already got the life insurance in place. You're going to die someday. We're going to pay this claim. If you decide to take it in advance, there's a less desire to fight that. I mean, why are we going to? It's inevitable anyway.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. I found that it's a lot easier to collect benefits this way than to go to have strictly a long-term care plan, a standalone plan, and then go to the company and try to collect.
Okay, super. So I'm glad. I want everybody to understand that. So
Yeah. Now, there's, in addition to chronic illness, which is the long-term care definition, in a long-term care standalone policy, this is the only definition you have to collect. This is the only way you collect the money. You have a monthly benefit that you've paid for in advance, and you collect based on these two inability to perform 2 of the 6 activities of daily living. In this other type of plan that you're referring to, where we are using death benefit that's already built into the plan, we're using that in advance of dying. They've added other ways to collect the money.
There
in
you go.
addition,
Yeah.
one way would be critical illness, which is defined as a heart attack, stroke, cancer, renal failure, Alzheimer's disease, anything that permanently affects the health of your life would be classed, and there you can collect on that as well. Another category would be terminal illness. If you're diagnosed as either 12 months or having 12 months or 24 months left to live, you can go ahead and start collecting your death benefit in advance of dying for that reason. And then if you go through all 3, and these, by the way, are all 3 of these categories are treated individually. So you could actually collect on all 3. You could move from one to the next to the third. If there's anything left after that, it would then pass on to your beneficiaries at your death. So there's never any loss of money.
well, that's interesting. You got property debt here as use of the collectability.
Well, that's true. Collateralization. Many times we used to do this a lot long ago, but today we don't see it happening too much. But yes, a lot of times if you have a property or you're trying to finance a property, and the financing institution, the bank, decides they want some kind of collateralization, many times they will like to have. They like the fact that you have a death benefit that you can collateralize to pay off the debt that you might be trying to apply for, and that and then also your beneficiaries can use the death benefit to pay off property debts, taxes, so that they can inherit the property free and clear of it, and realize its full value, full market value.
Well, that brings up my first subject that I talked about today was my tax class on Wednesday. Life insurance is not leviable. You can't levy taxes against life insurance.
Yes, correct.
But the person who that owes the taxes, if they collect the cash, then the IRS can go after those accounts.
Once it hits their personal account, absolutely,
yeah,
yes.
right.
Yep.
But until that time, it's protected. Yeah,
That's right.
That's a good tax advantage that we never think about too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right, Joe. We're almost out of time, but I wanted to see if you wanted to summarize with your nice picture up here. I wanted to make sure everybody can see that Joe is an investment advisor, and he's got a bunch of licenses. And his number is 818-266-8499. So give him a call. Like I said, you're going to want to give him a call if you've got any more questions or you need his services, which I'm having 2 of my clients and probably more avail himself of right now. One is a client that has a lot of property, needs to be covered with life insurance so that his wife doesn't get stuck. And who knows, the wife may go before he does, but I don't want her to have the burden if something happens to him. So
Yeah.
I'm recommending that for him. I have another client. I thought he was like 27. He's 38. Wow.
You know what? I'm a little tentative about that.
No. I believe it. He's
I
a
might be
young-looking guy, and he's become a successful businessman. And
He may very well be 28, Don.
And I'm very proud of him. So I can check his tax return when I get back to the office.
There you go.
But anyway, like I say, you should be planning your retirement when you're 20.
Oh, it's Unfortunately, many of us can't do that. But
Right.
But yeah, it certainly would be advantageous.
Okay, and the last thing was that I want to repeat was the fact that your 2016 year tax return, your 2016 is coming right up. If you don't do the things necessary in 2015, in 2016 you won't be able to do them. You can do an IRA, open up an IRA in 2016 and have it go back to 2015, but you can't do a keyhole plan, right?
No. Most retirement plans have to be set up and arranged by the end of the year.
Yeah, so that's why you want the tax planning now, and I want to bring that back up again.